In this video we are going to talk about top 10 sports cars from the 80s that will run forever. So before starting the video, please like this video, do subscribe and turn on the notification to our channel for future updates. 10. C4 Corvette. Never a particularly pretty car. Nevertheless, it was a huge improvement over the dying C3 Stingray that staggered on through the late 70s. Okay, it handled very well and was pretty fast, especially the ZR1 with the 32 volts Mercury Marine engine. Even the regular 5.7 V8 had become leak-free and efficient. The overdrive transmission worked well, the interiors were well thought out. The braking and handling were among the best, and recorded metrics that were equal to exotics of the day. 9. First generation RX7. Keep those rotor apex seals lubricated. Other than that, just change oil, check the lights, brakes and change the filters. Both the 12A and 13B engines would die early if you didn't do the recommended procedure of putting a little oil down the intake manifold when running. Other than that, they ran pretty darn good and the car acted like a healthy 6-cylinder sports car. It was even rated by NHRA and SCCA in a system that considered it a 3.5 LV6. The fuel economy wasn't as bad as people claimed, high teens, low 20s. The engines would last 80,000 plus miles if cared for, and the ancillary components were of good quality. 8. Celica GTS. One of the longest-lasting engines ever built. The third-generation Celica came with the 22RE engine. Known as just slightly less robust than the 20R it replaced, these cars would rust like a Chevy Vega in the Rust Belt because Japan didn't zinc coat their bodies until years later, but mechanically they were great cars. 7. Pantera GT5. Exotic cars are never known for reliability, but after 15 years of production a lot of improvements had been made. Now powered by an Australian improved version of a 351C engine, backed by a transaxle with an extra gear. Bigger brakes, better wiring, improvements in handling and an engine you could get parts for at the popular chain at the time. 6. Nissan 300ZX and ZX Turbo. A solid, well-built, if bland-looking car. Excellent handling, great power, well-built. There really wasn't much to not like about this car. The looks were understated, and the power wasn't phenomenal, but both the base model and the turbo made great power. 5. Porsche 944 Turbo. Porsche started building liquid-cooled front-engine, rear-wheel drive cars in the 80s. The 944 was the serious player, where the 924 was more a low-power holdover car. Not plagued with the oil leaks and cooling problems of the later 911 air-cooled series, these cars offered great performance and decent reliability. 4. Renault Alliance GTA. A car that couldn't, a frog with a simple, naturally aspirated 2.0 LOHC front-wheel drive engine. That should have been just a C-grade coupe, was actually a pocket rocket. It wasn't even advertised as a serious sports car. And its partner, AMC, was already on the decline, but this thing was a sleeper. 3. Buick Regal T-Type, GN, GNX. Both versions of this car were actually derated for power because GM felt Corvette sales would suffer if another car was faster in the 1/4 mile. Even so, the T-Type, same car but different paint, trim, GN and GNX were actually faster in a straight line than the Corvette. The GNX had more boost and made almost 300 HP versus 220 to 245 for the GN T-Type. The car was a hodgepodge of parts, and it didn't even have the best brakes or handling. What it did do well was run fast without complaint or breakage. 2. Fox-bodied Mustang and Mercury Capri. Nothing particularly great about these cars, but they didn't make any mistakes building them either. Okay, we admit the earliest 4.3 V8 and Turbo 4 versions during 1979-80 were weak, but those sold in low numbers and died early. The rest of the line did everything reasonably well. They were also cheap to own and modify. The 5.0 V8 was legendary, despite only making 225 HP in top form. The SVO Turbo 2.3 made almost 200 HP, and could turn over 0.83 on the skid pad. Even the V6 versions weren't bad. Ford needed a winner, and the Fox body Mustang delivered for a 12-year model run. 1. American Motors Spirit AMX. It also came with a 304 V8, but that only made 25 HP more. Where this car went right is that it was built on the Spirit, but with two-wheel drive and not four-wheel drive like the Spirit. That meant it weighed 600 lb, less than most equal-size cars at the time. It also had a stiff chassis that used parts that were well proven in a chassis that had been around for a decade. So that's it for today's video. What are your thoughts on our video? Please let us know in comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification before you go. Thank you for watching.